Aloha, everybody. We got a big show for you tonight. We got some exciting news. We got some DCU casting. We got a renewal for a new Netflix show. And Henry Cavill may or may not be popping up in a new anime live action thing. But talking about anime, we got a trailer for My Hero Academia, and we're hitting all the big reviews. We got The Wild Robot. We got Joker Folie, we got Agatha Episodes 4 and 5, and The Penguin Episodes 2 and 3. Stay tuned for this exciting episode.
Gee. Okay, well, that was awful. Let me do it.
The Joystick Show.
Aloha and welcome to the Joystick Show, a weekly podcast where three friends from Hawaii talk story about pop culture things that bring us joy. Shakas mahalas for checking us out. If can, please like and subscribe on any and every podcast platform, also on YouTube. A 5-star review is greatly appreciated and helps us out a ton. I'm your co-host Drake, and that's Thomas.
G'day, g'day.
And that's Scott.
Hey, Jose.
And welcome to episode 166, where we're doing it from down under.
Oi.
Australia.
That's right.
Or New Zealand, whatever one's, fancier for you. But, yeah, well, why don't we just get into some news, just because it's, it's downright petty for us to just keep it from the people. But, one...
That's so good.
Yeah, so
I can't
good.
keep it up.
Yeah, you gotta really do it there.
I'm feeling some pressure to do an accent I can't do.
It's just gonna go downhill.
Yeah. No, Drake has, but I feel like it's
For us,
almost like King's Cup rule, and Drake has to just keep doing the whole episode in that accent.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
Because
I
you're doing
definitely
a
can.
really good job, Drake.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Aaron Pierre. He's got casted to play John Stewart, our new Green Lantern. How do we feel about him? I mean, his eyes are definitely dashing. I'd like to put his eyes on a Barbie because I want to eat them because they look so delicious. And then I become different in my voice, and now I'm from England.
That's good.
Oh, snap. Okay, yeah. But yeah, how do we feel about Aaron Pierre? I mean, obviously he's handsome. Obviously he kind of looks like John Stewart.
Yeah. I think that's the main thing that I'm kind of noticing is that one thing James Gunn is doing is he's like actually finding people that look like the characters.
Yeah.
I love the Jason Momoa casting for Aquaman. I mean, that to me is what Aquaman looks like now. But I can see James Gunn is really just trying to go for like the guy who looks the most like the character.
Yeah, accurate.
And I'm about it. Hard to argue against that.
Yeah. Scott, are you indifferent or how do you
No, I'm on board with that. I was trying to look up his IMDb and see how long he's been like in the game. I feel like
Dude, he's only 30.
feel? Wow.
He's
Wow.
young.
good on him, and he looks
Yeah.
like John Stewart.
Yeah.
That
Double
too.
cool.
Double
But
cool.
this is actually what I like to see. Someone that I'm like unaware of until they announce like we're gonna get this guy. So now I don't have to like compare him to like any other. Like you mentioned Jason Momoa. Like I'm thinking of all the other things Jason Momoa was in before he's Aquaman and stuff. So I actually prefer this sort of casting over like we got Tom Cruise or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Where you got like such a heavy hitter, you're just like,
Yeah.
does that work? I think this guy, seeing how young he is, and coming off the success of that Netflix show Rebel Ridge, and also having an older Kyle Chandler, is gonna work super well. Like, I didn't necessarily want Hal Jordan to be in his 60s, when the show comes out, but
Yeah.
I think it could work. Kyle Chandler, we talked about it before, is like pretty solid actor. He's that guy you see in everything and don't know his name. But like him with this character, as long as they can kind of like, Hal can show him the ropes and seem like the veteran, I think that's going to be pretty cool.
Agree.
Yeah, I agree. It sounds like a cool. I didn't know he was 60 or 59 years old. Wow, damn.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think that's the way to do it. Whether it's like a passing of the torch thing or whatnot, I think it's going to be cool to see. You get to make everyone happy in this regard, and they're both awesome characters. Like so, it's going to be awesome. I think.
Yeah.
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 I mean, well, speaking of things that, old and new, new and old, Tomb Raider Legend of Lauda is going to be coming out, an animated series that's going to, really talk about and go deep into Tomb Raider. I know I've watched Thomas play Tomb Raider ad nauseum for the PS1 back in the day.
Sick.
Yeah, dude. Well,
It's gross.
it was so gross because of how good you were using your bows and arrows to kill bears coming
Sick
at you.
skills.
Yeah, dude, your stick skills. Scott, did you play Tomb Raider when you were getting to the puberties?
No, but funny enough, I did watch someone else play Tomb Raider. I used to watch my
interesting.
uncle play Tomb Raider, and it always looked freaking hard. But it was
And
fun to
that
watch
brought me
because,
into
like,
puberty.
yeah, dude. Oh,
Nice,
uncle,
uncle.
take it easy, uncle.
Make her
so
dive
hard,
again.
bro. So hard.
Swan dive.
Uncle, I gotta go bathroom again. No,
Oh, yeah.
but the controls. It was funny seeing like it would seem like a simple task, like jump on this thing, grab a ledge, jump back, bounce off, and go. Like now you got Mario doing that. Kids can do it, but like
Yeah,
Tomb Raider,
right.
you had to like seem like you were solving a Rubik's cube on your PlayStation. He was like,
Yeah.
damn it, like you just pissed off all the time, just trying to do like these
Yeah.
like weird acrobatics. I don't know if it got any better
Yeah.
over the years, but I definitely remember that, and it was funny to watch and cool to watch when he's going to battle against like tigers and whatnot. It's it's a fun time.
Was
Yeah, it
what
is.
did you like about it, Thomas? Because while I was watching you play it, but then you were playing it kind of a lot. So what did you like about it back in the day?
Yeah, I mean, I think Scott is onto something because it was one of those games that when you're watching it, you're like, it can't be that hard. And then you pick up the controllers and you're like, he's right. You just got to jump and grab onto that ledge. That's all you got to do. And it'd be so freaking hard to do. You're like, why am I not reaching this? And there was like, it was kind of like solving a puzzle in a way. There was that aspect. Plus, yes, she was like a really well done character. She was smoking hot. Plus, like she had these really cool guns. And you wanted to get the new guns, you wanted to get to the next level, you wanted to get to the water mission and like go kill sharks, and then you wanted to get to the next level and fight dinosaurs. It was a really freaking cool premise. And I don't think this is a character that we'll see die anytime soon, and meaning like I think they're going to keep bringing this character back for more and more and more. But yeah, I don't know, I'm curious, like, are you guys I feel like my interest though in Lara Croft and Tomb Raider has like really kind of gone down. So it's interesting that we're getting this anime now.
That's,
You
I
guys
mean,
have
that's
the same
no, I
thought?
feel the same. Like, why now, right? Like, when you have what is that one character's name that Tom Holland played? That was also the video game.
Oh, Drake.
Uncharted.
Yeah.
Drake Malfoy.
Your name.
My name, but a different last name.
Yeah.
Like
Nathan Drake, right?
I really appreciate, I think, Laura, because of her like character into like main character badass, also happens to be a female, earned every kind of bit of award it has got in terms of like the praise from its people, but it is kind of like dated. How are they going to update it now? Are they going to incorporate more things? Like, could you potentially see a crossover with like Uncharted and Tomb Raider, so you can kind of help build this hype and et cetera, et cetera? I think there's a lot of ways to continue to build the IP, but it does feel strange. I'm excited for it in the sense of like, oh, Tomb Raider, that's nice, but then also like, why now?
Yeah. Question for you guys. Did you watch all the way through the Terminator anime?
I'm gonna say yes.
I have
No.
not.
I watched like 4 or 5 episodes. How many episodes was it?
Okay. Yeah, no, there was like 10, I think. Like
shit.
9 or
Oh,
10.
fuck.
Yeah, I fell off on that too. And honestly, it's sad. I don't really have any interest in going back and finishing it. I don't know. I just have this feeling that I'm super stoked to see Tomb Raider, but I'm also going to do the same thing I just did with Terminator and not really dive into or not really get a hold of me. Like,
see.
I don't know. It's really going to have to hook me or do something special in these first couple episodes. Because you were talking about Vox Machina, Scott, like before
Yeah.
we started recording. And I would way rather jump into that right now.
It's real good.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. There's so many other new projects coming out. Anime has seemed to be getting like more and more popular. I don't know if it's always just been this popular. We're just kind of noticing it now. But new shows are way more exciting. Like Vox Machina, granted, it's what is it, season 3 now?
Yeah.
It's done so well though. Like I'm already invested. I forgot there was another new Netflix show that dropped. It's anime called Dan the Dan.
Oh,
It's like one episode so far,
About that.
and
Yeah.
I watched that the other day, and like when shows like that drop, which are like super new and fresh, like it's hard to like go back and watch some other stuff. Like, oh, maybe I might like that, even though I don't play the games or I don't, like you're saying, like I'm not even invested in Tomb Raider, so it's kind of hard for me to bring around like maybe the show would be good or Yeah.
What's that one that's out too right now, like Uzumaki or something on Max that everyone's like freaking out about too?
I haven't gotten a chance to check that out.
Uzumaki. It's like blowing up. And like IGN did this whole video on it and stuff. And I want to dive into that. It looks like super weird. It kind of looks like a more Japanese version of like Scavenger's Reign or something. Like it looks like weird and twisted and like all kind of. Yeah, there's just so much. So, I mean, I just feel like this show's going to have to do, Tomb Raider is going to have to do something really special for me to like dive into it because there's a lot of competition as far as like good animation right now.
So much stuff.
So much stuff. All right, so there is a show, though, we were just talking about Netflix, that I am ecstatic that is getting a season 2.
Yeah.
We did, I used it as like the Watch Recommendation Monday video. And I don't know if you guys have watched it yet, but like I actually, you watched it, Drake?
Yeah.
Yeah, take it away.
It's called Nobody Wants This. And it's kind of like a rom-com situation we have. Is that guy's name Adrian Brody? Is that the...
No. Adam Brody.
Adam Brody.
Adam Brody?
Who the fuck is Adrian
right?
Brody?
Adrian Brody
Yeah.
is the guy in like Kong and the pianist.
The pianist. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
got the like big nose,
You're talking about...
slender dude.
Yeah, so
Good actor.
essentially...
What else do you know about him, Scott?
Yeah, dude, I know he's one of your favorite actors.
No, I have no idea actually.
Scott's favorite actor. He loves him. He knows everything about him. His whole biography.
Yeah. I mean, he met him one
I got
time.
a tattoo on my chest. No, sorry.
Yeah. But it's a rom-com. We have Kirsten Bell and we have Adam Brody. And Kirsten Bell is kind of she has a podcast with her sister and it's booming. And she's trying to get that off the ground. And at the same time, she meets Adam Brody. Adam Brody is coming off of a long-term relationship. He's a rabbi. And I'm watching this show, and I'm like, wow, this is really like bringing the forefront of like Jewish culture. And it's very much pro-Jewish in the sense of it tells you things that you never knew. It goes into kind of small nuances. It hits on cultural notes that I am familiar with and I'm not familiar with Jewish culture. So that's been fantastic. And then you also see kind of the combat between being a rabbi and then also kind of having this other side of the world, the shiksa that Kirsten Bell is, and those two worlds kind of slowly coming together and colliding, and you don't really know where this centrifugal force is going to place these two, but you do see this beautiful relationship of Adam really being honest and truthful and Kirsten really wanting this to work, but at the same time they're on opposite sides of the spectrum, and this opposite magnetism is pushing them away even though it's kind of really bringing them close together. It's a wonderful rom-com. If you have a significant other, watch that during the nighttime with a blanket betwixt you.
This is how stupid I am, though. When I saw the trailer for it, I was like, is being Jewish and being just white that different? I was like, is there enough there to make it that different? Obviously, I need to know more Jewish people, but they do enough with it to where it seems like, oh no, this would be a big hurdle. Like, I don't know how they're gonna figure this out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they really make it like you understand what they're talking about, even though you kind of don't, because you're not necessarily familiar with the culture.
But like you understand, like there's a barrier. Like this is a barrier for us, and you're like, And when I was thinking about starting the show, whatever, I was like, that can't be like there can't be that many barriers just because he's Jewish and she's not. And then they really do a good job of showing you like this would be really hard because of X, Y, and Z. And then they do these little scenarios of like it's one thing in the episode, and it just kind of like percolates to every other character. I really just like the Ick episode, right, where he comes over and he's wearing basketball shorts and they're ready to watch like trashy reality TV, and he's got like all the gross snacks. And they're like, we're not doing anything but like watching this today in our sweats. And then they find out like her parents are coming over and he has to change. So he puts like a sport coat on where she's like, you don't have to wear a suit. And he's like, it's a sport coat. But the way he like sitting there with his sports coat, holding the flowers with his legs crossed gives her the ick. And it's just like, I don't think I like him anymore. Like everything he's doing is giving her the ick like that. It's just well done, funny things. And I feel like it's a good, like really good, well done modern comedy.
The characters are good. The characters are well done, and the individuals playing them really good. I like Rocklov. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
The
Shout out
dialogue
for
is
Veep,
really
too.
good. Yeah, dude.
Because he was a Veep, and I hated him in Veep. I was like, this guy's effing annoying. And then in this show, you're like, fuck, but
Like
it
charming.
works.
He's hilarious. Yeah,
he's
like-
so funny. It's good.
Wow.
But like, and also like the sister, we've seen her in other things, but she's kind of an annoying, in my perspective, more the annoying one. But it works too for the story. Like it, yeah, sleeper hit, and obviously it is a hit. Like Netflix instant, like it takes a while for Netflix, I feel like, to renew certain things, but this got like an okay right away. Like look at One Piece. One Piece didn't get a renewal right away. Avatar: Last Airbender didn't get a renewal right away, but this did. So it must be crushing it on numbers.
Yeah. Scott, you said this was one of your favorite shows you've watched so far in 2024. What is your take on Nobody Wants This?
Yeah, I actually got a pre-screen of this last year. It's really good.
Yeah. I don't know. I watched it so long ago. I forgot how amazing.
Yeah, actually,
it was.
I basically forgot everything about it. So I'm glad you guys brought that up. I remember now everything.
Yeah. That was my favorite part.
Yeah, everything you said was my favorite part. So good. They should do. Actually, they got greenlit for a third season. I found that out. You guys don't know that yet, but yeah, good things to come.
Good. Well, fantastic. I'm glad to hear it because it's such a great show. I mean, I don't know if season 3 could even top the fact that we're gonna get a Voltron with a Henry Cavill right in front of it. Mm-hmm. I kind of don't know what to think. Like Voltron's
Who's he
cool.
playing? Do we know?
I don't think we know which character he's playing yet. We just know like it is interesting that we're getting a Henry Cavill Voltron, and we're getting Warhammer, and we're getting all this stuff before we're getting confirmation that he's Wolverine, or that he's ever going to make another Superman movie, which we know he's not now. It's like, what? How? It's this guy's career. When people like look back, historians on like Hollywood, he's going to have one of the weirdest careers, I think, of like a mainstream actor that everybody wants to see, everybody likes, but like never gets to do the shit that it seems like he wants to do. But he gets to do a bunch of random things other people are going to enjoy. And it's just weird. Like The Witcher, I mean, that wouldn't have been on my bingo card before he got cast. And when he did, obviously he looked like the guy and he did a great job, but it was just like, what?
Abs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's see. No, the anime is based on Rawson Marshall Thurber. Oh no,
Thurber?
he's directing it from Amazon.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. We don't know yet. We just know he's going to be a part of it.
But it's live action.
Live action. Henry Cavill Voltron.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I didn't think it was going to be live action. When I saw like Henry Cavill Voltron, I was like, oh, this must be like he's going to be voicing somebody or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I actually thought it was going to be like a Transformers 1 situation.
Right. Right.
But, it's kind of cool just because I doubt he's like needs money like right now, So it's not like I'll do whatever is offered to me. Because we know he's like a super nerd, I could imagine he's like knows a bit about Voltron and then read the script and was like, this is actually pretty cool. I want to be a part of it. In that, if that all of that was correct, then I'm excited for it. If he's excited for it, I'm excited for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, yeah.
Definitely.
He's going
to give 110% too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, quickly, what was your guys' like, what are your memories of Voltron? Like, I always thought the characters are cool and the suits were cool. And it was very much like another Power Rangers, but I don't really remember the story that well.
Yeah, same. Very much that. Like, I don't even remember if I saw much of Voltron. Like, again, with the Tomb Raider and like watching my uncle play games and stuff. When I was younger, I would go to my grandma's and get babysitted. My uncle's not that much older than I am. It's about like 6 years. So a lot of the things I was introduced to was because he was a fan of it. So I think he might have had like a toy, but I don't remember ever watching Voltron there. I remember like watching Power Rangers and whatnot. But I used to just think this is like, this is like a cat Megazord, like
Yeah.
But I always thought it was cool though, like that every piece opens up and stuff. Like playing with the toy, I'm sure you guys know as a kid, if you didn't watch the show, it was kind of cool as well because you're like, this toy looks so cool. You create its own backstory. You're like, this is what it does now. It does things that it probably doesn't even do in the show. So I remember liked playing with the toy, but yeah, I don't know. And I wonder if they're going to do anything off of I watched a bit of the new Voltron animation one that was on Netflix.
Yeah.
And that one was good. I enjoyed that.
Nice.
So, yeah, I wonder
man.
if it's going to be like that at all or I don't know.
there's like decades of history they can pull from. So I'm excited to see what they do with it too.
I have no clue, dude. Like, I think the only I remember Voltron as like a whole, but like I'm more familiar with like Zoids than I am with Voltron.
Mm-hmm.
So, which
What
I
was
guess
the one
could
where
make
they were
arguments
birds?
Bertron.
Bertron. Okay. It wasn't Bertron.
Wait, they were
It was-
mechanical flying birds?
No, like the team, they looked very much like the Voltron team, but they were like more birds. Like everybody had like these wing things, Thunderbirds.
Thundercats?
Oh, it was around that time period. I don't know. I feel like I'm more familiar with that
I'm
one.
gonna Google Voltron birds. See what pops up.
Birds of prey? No.
Power Ranger Voltron bird people. Yeah.
Huh.
Power Ranger Voltron bird people.
Hey.
right.
Well, speaking about your next out tomorrow, My Hero Academia is going to have some new stuff coming out mañanas.
Yes, it is.
Sure is. Looks like a movie's coming out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could call it that if you want, but
Yeah. Theatrical release.
a theatrical release of My Hero Academia. I mean, obviously we all have our favorite My Hero Academia caricatures, but excited for the movie. Are you gonna wait till it comes out, or are you gonna go to the theater and watch that beach?
I mean, if I can get to the theater, I'm definitely gonna go watch this. You know, I love it. I'm like fully caught up to where the anime is, so I'm
sick.
ready for this movie. Yeah. Let's see.
I think it's a standalone, right?
Yeah, it's a standalone thing, but it seems like it's very much taking place before the last arc or the last season ended, so somewhere in there. But I like it because it looks like it's the school versus a bad version of All Might.
Right.
So it's like Midoriya versus All Might, which we're definitely not getting, I think, in the last season, right? Because they're going to be wrapping everything up. It's about them. It's all for one versus one for all, and I think that's how the final season is going to go. But I think this one is cool. It's definitely a side story against All Might, and so if you wanted to see Midoriya and have his, one for all fight, All Might's one for all, then here you go.
Yeah.
I don't know if I explained that well, but
I think you did. Based on the trailer, though, the art looks great, right? The art's still... And because it's a movie, it looks like, it's dumb to say it looks more cinematic, but it does. It, looks like it's... Maybe they put, definitely put more money into it. So everything looks sharper, the colors look rich, and the fights look cool based on what we see. Like, we get to see a little bit of what Midoriya's doing in it, and it looks sick. If I'm able to go out to watch it, I will. If not, I'll definitely catch a digital on the back end. But it looks cool.
yeah, it does.
Dude,
It's
movie
funny.
animes are awesome. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the plot is like the old movie. I forgot what the last movie was called, but I watched that one recently. But it was like sounds very similar. It's like Midoriya, Katsuyuki, Bakugo, Shoto Todoroki that are leading teams into a destructive melee against supervillains intent on kidnapping a girl named Anna Servino. Which in the other movie, that's what
Same
it was.
person,
like,
Anna.
Yeah, they were
Yeah, I know.
kidnapping someone too. So I don't know. That's not what it looked like to
Recycle.
me. But
Yeah.
all right, cool.
Yeah, I think in terms of like anime movies, especially in theaters, I remember I went to go watch the Broly movie in theaters, and that was an amazing experience. So I can only assume My Hero Academia, especially with anime getting slightly bigger. I think everybody's coming out to it now. They've stepped out of the closet and they're like, I like anime, and it's more prevalent now. So that kind of environment in a theater, watching your cool characters. I remember when Broly came up, I could hear like, oh man, that's so cool, blah, blah, blah. So that kind of environment is pro, especially if you're going to be watching animes that you enjoy.
For sure. And this is
Yeah.
cool because... you guys are watching Demon Slayer as well? Or...
I kind of fell off of it a little bit.
Kimetsu no Yaiba? Yeah.
Yeah, but I was.
Well, what's cool is like, these. It seems like all of these animes, like we're talking about animes becoming more and more popular. It seems, getting more movies. They're gonna wrap that up with like 3 movies as well. So maybe
wow, really?
these sort of things are priming the audience to like get used to seeing animation like this in theaters. Pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Because what was the last one? It wasn't Mugen Train. It was like after Mugen Train, right?
Yeah. It was,
Yeah, it was the way they did it though. It was like the final fight of like the previous season and then like the first episode of the new season. So
Yeah,
you're basically watching the anime. Like they had the credits and intro and everything. They didn't edit it at all. It was just like
What?
it was like you're watching it, at home, but with all your friends on a big screen.
That's
which is
kind of
cool.
though.
You know,
Yeah.
it is kind of cool. But I was like, I wonder if they're going to edit out the credits. And they don't. You're just watching all the credits.
You're like,
the
where's
next
the
one starts.
skip?
Yeah,
what's
it's like-
the play next episode gonna?
I was just cracking up every time they just play the credits. Like, all right. Well, I mean, it's good that people are getting credit. You know, that's
Sure.
awesome. But it was just kind of funny.
But do I need to see it 3 times? In
I'm sure
one
it's the same
viewing?
people. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm gonna try to sneak out and see this if I can, but there's just so much, and I think that's a perfect place to just lead us into reviews because there was something that all of us watched, also animated, and gosh, this might be my favorite movie of the year. I just loved this movie. It had me choking up so many times. I'm like, God, what a little bitch. But I was seriously about to cry a few times in this movie, and it's called The Wild Robot. Yeah, what did you guys think about it?
Scott, why don't you let us know?
Yeah. I
Moving my
will.
mouse over your nose and I'm scratching it with my mouse.
So as you know, I've seen this a year ago, and it is good then, and it's good now.
Okay.
It's really fun. I think before going in to see it, I think I saw your quick like little sum of it, and you were saying like, man, it's like. No, you wrote and you're like, someone was cutting onions next to me, and I was like, okay, it's gonna be a tearjerker for sure. So even going in knowing that, I was like, oh, that's the part right here. Like, you know, there were couple parts where I'm like, yeah, hold it back. You know, it was good. And it was a lot funnier than I thought it was gonna be. After finishing the movie, I was like, dude, Pixar saw this movie and was like, we gotta fucking step it up. Like,
Yeah,
this is good.
totally. I couldn't help but compare it to Wall-E a little bit.
oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know, because
Okay.
Wall-E gets me too. Wall-E makes
Yeah,
me kind of like
I love
choke
Wall-E.
up, and they're like, all Wall-E wants to do is be with Eve. Eve. Right.
Yeah.
And Christina had not seen it before, so we just watched it recently. I'm like, God, this is,
that's awesome.
dude, yeah, that rocked her soul. But like this, you know, and that was a tearjerker. But then I went into this, and I'm like, no way it can even be as good as Wall-E. But then I'm like,
Nailed
fuck,
it.
did this beat Wall-E in my personal fandom?
Yeah.
And I think it did. That's maybe
Yeah.
crazy to say, but
It's the new Shrek, dude.
is
It's the
crazy.
new Shrek.
It's a new Shrek.
It's the new Shrek. Like I think.
Oh, what is DreamWorks, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is DreamWorks. I mean, budget was 78 million. It made 105.6 million in box office, according to Wikipedia, which is obviously a credible source. And you know, the cast obviously super great. Just the notes. I was speaking about this earlier before pod, but like I thought it went by quickly, and only because I wanted to know more about where is this world where this robot is from. The fact that they took the time to have the robot calculate and listen to the animals so that it made sense why the animals were fucking talking, like genius.
That was cool.
yeah. I
And then-
love that detail too. I thought that was so smart.
So
Yeah.
fucking smart. And then you're having it kind of be fresh in the world and wanting to care for it, but not knowing how, and the world not really expecting much from this robot, because I think what the familiarity with humans, especially being on a segregated island like they were, is, you know, not so much in terms of bipeds. And so you're having all these interesting new interactions through the eyes of the characters and the animals and the robot, but from a perspective of like, oh, that's interesting that this is the interpretation of what will be taking place. And you have this
Yeah.
really big separation of everything. You know, the bears with the bear, he's killing everything. The beaver's trying to do the fucking tree thing. You know, the ducks are flying away. The mooses are trying to
I've
moose,
got
and
a
then
mission.
all of
Sorry.
a sudden,
Yeah.
New York City. And then all of a sudden they all come together, and it becomes a matter of family and gathering versus like separation. And you know, again, like you both just jerking your tears off into your
Jerking it-
cheeks.
jerking it right off. Right off.
Yeah,
the
jerking it
face.
Right off my body.
jerking it right off your face, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so great though. Chris Sanders, great job. Thank you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so good. I remember like I think it was like the first joke where I was like, wow, I didn't think they were gonna do that. It was when that possum was like, oh, I got 7 kids, and you hear, "Rah!" and then you hear like screaming off camera, and she's like 6. Like, like whoa,
funny.
Yeah, I know,
like,
it's
did that
so dark.
would just get murdered.
Fuck.
But I was like, yeah, but they played it off camera, so the kids don't know what just happened, but the adults know what happened. And then
Right.
later, the possum comes back, like, I'm okay, Mom. She's like, oh, great, come on, let's go. And I thought that was so funny.
So
That
fucking
was so
funny,
good
dude.
too. She wasn't stoked. Yeah, like, oh man, that stuff. I was like, God, this is so mature. And I had another friend that reached out and was like, hey, you know, I saw that you watched this movie. Like, is it cool to bring my 3-year-old? And I was like, honestly, like, I don't know, man. There's like some heavy themes of death in this movie. You know, it's like some parts you're definitely afraid. Like, even as Roz lands, you know, and everything just starts messing her up. You know, the robot, you're like, fuck, that sucks. Like, she didn't even do anything. But then you see just how other animals treat each other too. And you're like, well, that is nature. They are like trying to fuck each other up and eat and, you know, but yeah, I was like,
That's so
man.
funny. Like, all those saving an animal and the other one takes it. Like, there's a lot of that in the beginning. And yeah, but
Man,
it was done
dude.
so well. The way the robot learns and overrides things to like become more, I guess what we would associate like human-like. Like,
I liked how like Bright Bill like imprints on her or whatever, right? And then Bright Bill thinking that Roz is his mom is like copying her though too.
Yeah.
And like that's what makes him
That was
different
adorable.
beside, you know, and he was like,
Yeah.
that was funny. He's like,
you know, it's like yeah, it's just a funny premise. Like I enjoyed that. Matthew Berry being the beaver who had to chop the tree down, and everybody teases him. It's just like that was great. And then Pedro Pascal comes in there.
Yeah. No, and it was funny. Like, there's certain moments I was like, oh man, I wonder how this tree's gonna like work its way later in the movie. I thought maybe there would be a flooding and they're gonna make some kind of boat out of it or something. But
okay, yeah.
it was cool the way they did it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I love everything about this movie. It got me in the feels. The only criticism I kind of have is I thought it was gonna end like 2 or 3 times, and then it just kept going.
Yeah.
So, you know, like he goes on his mission. I'm like, how are they going to make this work? Like, she's going to stay for him. And I was like, well, she's not staying. And then she does. And then he goes to where she was from, you know, and then flies back. I don't know. I just kept thinking like it was going to end. And then like something else happens. And then it's going to end. And then something else happens. You know, like they just.
No, that's true. I think because. I think you're right too, Drake. Like there's so much that happens and it happens so quick. Like. You expect like with like so much like with the volume in like the first 30 minutes of the movie, it felt like you kind of it went by fast, but you're also like it must have been an hour by now,
Right.
like
yeah.
and like you're like, oh, this must be wrapping up. And then they're going to like this like third, and then it feels like a 4th act, a 5th act, almost like just like add-ons. Like you got like a DLC for this movie, and you're like, holy shit! Like now there's a fire. Like you're just like, this is crazy.
Right. And then they're battling things. And how are these animals going to stop these killer robots? And then they band together. You're like, what?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I'm definitely there for it, but I know what you mean. I'm like, and then this is a good ending. I see it, and you're like,
It's
oh,
gonna.
there's okay.
I wonder if they're thinking
But
about
then-
like because they introduced where the robots come from, separate plane. Then they introduced the island in itself, right? Then they introduced kind of like the dynamics of the potentiality of the bridging those gaps. And I think maybe they're just allowing for space to see. You know, maybe in like a group setting, like, oh, what did you as a viewer like the most? And then when we make a sequel, because there's probably going to be a sequel, it's very good.
Right.
Where can we now direct this? Where can this go? Right? And I don't know. That's just, man.
Excuse me. That was a
It was
big
just such a good, like you both said very poignantly. It was just such a great movie, and you know, to be honest, kudos to Colorado because Chris Sanders was born and raised in Colorado,
Okay.
and also Justine Lupe, who's in Nobody Wants This, also from Colorado. So Colorado really coming in hard.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Colorado
You're welcome.
providing great content.
Content.
This is pretty good. Yeah, Lupita Nyong'o, a great choice as well,
Oh,
and
fuck
Pedro
yeah, so
Pascal, a
good.
great choice. Bill Nighy to his long neck. I like that. I think he's awesome. So, yeah, stellar performance. Also, I didn't realize Mark Hamill was the bear. I knew that he was in this movie, but I was like, which one was Mark Hamill? I didn't realize till the credits that I was like, oh shit, he was the bear. That was wild.
Yeah, you know, I don't think I didn't. There's some roles where you're like, that's Mark Hamill, but I didn't get that for sure. So that's cool.
He's got range. That guy's
You got
good.
range.
It's good voice
Yeah,
acting,
can't
for sure.
recommend The Wild Robot enough. I think, yeah, oh man, it's like, God, this movie makes me question if I want kids. It'd be so sad to have them leave.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, she was such a good mom too. Oh man, fuck.
I know. Yeah,
Let's
well,
move
I
on
won't have to worry
cry.
about that for a while. All right, next movie.
Go watch the movie though.
One
good.
movie that you should probably skip is the next movie we're talking about, which is Joker Folie Adieu.
And I did.
I also did not watch it, so we took
didn't
your
watch it yet.
advice. Precog.
Yeah, good for you guys.
Good for you.
I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know who this movie's for. I can see some artistic value. I was on a podcast recently, and they're both really smart, really great, like writers who do movie reviews and stuff. And they both found things they really enjoyed about it. And while I can see the quality, I still don't like it. I still don't think it's a
Yeah.
good movie.
Yeah.
It's rough. It is rough. I don't understand. Like the musicals seem to have nothing to do with the story. Sometimes they're just not even saying that well. They're saying like they sing bad on purpose. I don't know why, but they do.
That's what I heard. I
same.
heard they told Lady Gaga to sing bad on purpose.
Right. Yeah. That's what King Phoenix told her, and it makes sense in like some parts of the movie, but then other parts she sings well, and then some parts on the dream sequences she still doesn't sing that good. So it's super weird. It's weird. It's a
Is
weird
it just
movie.
too much artistic freedom then, or?
I mean, I think it purely was that they didn't expect to do a part two, never wanted to do a part two, and then Warner Brothers was like, "Here's $100 million." So like, okay, fine, we'll make a part two. And
Yeah.
then they
Sing.
just did whatever they wanted, and that's what we got.
Is
Do you
Lin Manuel in the credits? Is that why?
Yeah.
'Cause it would have
Do
been
you-
amazing, right?
It would have been a better movie if you wrote all the music. Do you think because of the title and like because of who he is in the DC universe, like did that make it less? Did that kind of like shape the way you thought you were gonna view the movie, and then you're like, this movie's turning into like a indie something else. Like it shouldn't even be called Joker. From what I was hearing, is like the good reviews were like, well, it's actually like a look into the mind that's like slowly going insane. About like the way they described it, I'm like, okay, like that's a take, and like that sounds cool, but like if Joker's on the card, I'm expecting Joker. You know, like
Right.
I don't know.
Yes. Okay. So this is like full.
God.
Can I spoil it?
Yeah, go for
Yeah.
This
it.
is gonna
Yeah.
go full
I'm not
spoilers
gonna
on
watch
this,
it.
All right. One, and you guys know I saw this in the video. Like, I didn't care for the first Joker movie. Like, I didn't ask for it. I like it. I think it's a good movie, but I don't love it like I think the internet did. And one thing that I love about the Joker is not knowing his origin. You know, it's been changed so much in the comics, and they said, "Oh, he was the guy in the red hood," and then it wasn't, and then like, it's bounced around so much. And I love that aspect about the Joker. So having like a movie that shows you his origin was not super appealing to me. Regardless, first movie's good. I buy it. I'm on board with that. Cool. It's an Elseworld story about this other type of Joker. This movie says, you know what? Fuck that. That's not the Joker. That's just about some random dude named Arthur Fleck. And then he dies. That's it.
Sick. Moving on. Here we go.
Pretty
It's
much.
not even the Joker.
Wow.
No, so this whole thing, the way he meets Lady Gaga and everything, who's not playing she's playing a version of Harley Quinn, but she's like Lee Quinn, and she's not actually, she is crazy, but she's not actually like committed to Arkham. Like, she puts herself there because she's rich and she's bored with her life and she just wants to do something different. And she also probably wants to like be close to the Joker because she saw him do this thing on TV and is like, that's really cool. I want to do that. As she starts to get to know Arthur Fleck / the Joker, she realizes like, this guy is not the Joker I thought he was. I'm actually not in love with him. Like, you're kind of like a little bitch. And so that's how this is kind of going on. This is the realization she's having while he's falling into delusion, while he's at court for this murder that he did, that everybody saw, and he's just not really the Joker. By the end of it, he decides, I'm not the Joker. Joker is, this character I made up, and it's not really me. And he says that to the courtroom. She's bummed out, and yeah, he ends up getting arrested again. And because she's like, I don't want to be with him, I don't want to escape with you.
Yeah.
Then this guy who comes up very crazy. He's like, hey, before you go visit your guest, his guards are walking him. Hey, before you go to visit your guest, I want to tell you a joke. He's like, Arthur's like, okay, I have like a minute. Sure, why not? Tells him this joke. Hey, you're going to get what you fucking deserve. Stabs him a bunch of times. And then Arthur Fleck falls to the ground, dies, bleeds out and dies. And so that guy then grabs the knife and cuts the Glasgow
he's
smile.
supposed to be the Joker?
And I guess he's supposed to be the Joker. So it's 2 movies about a dude who's not the Joker, but maybe about how he influenced madness in the city, and then probably the real Joker.
Okay,
And
that's
it's
kind
a
of cool.
take. It was kind of cool.
Take.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I still don't like it because you're right.
It was packaged in a way where it's not that, but
Yeah.
that's kind of, yeah.
It's also packaged in a way that you're watching a story about the Joker, but
Yes.
he's not the Joker based on this ending. The Joker is some dude you see for like 5 minutes who kills him, and he has the Joker laughed at. It's a great laugh. It's a cool kind of ending. But as you start to think about it, you're like, man, I just watched 4 hours of some dude who didn't really matter. He's not going to fight Batman. He's not actually the one that's going to go on all these crazy missions and like fully turn the city mad. And it's just some guy.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like if I watched that, I mean, if I like read it in a graphic novel and at the end there was a reveal like that, and you're like, oh shit. Like, I think it would have been, I mean, I didn't watch the movie, so I'm going to say it like I did though, but I think it would have been more enjoyable to have it that way, because you already have so much in that landscape of what the Joker is. It's a cool take on a different, like, someone who's so insane they think they might be the Joker, but they're not.
Right.
But in like a sort of like, in the movie verse, like, there's only so many movies that they have on this topic, and like there's so many people who don't really know about the Joker. So if you put a title saying the Joker, it's gonna like confuse a lot of people, like even people who are fans, right? But even more so people who are like, I keep hearing about this Joker guy, and then they're gonna watch the movie and be like, what the fuck is Batman? What's going on in this thing? Like, I'm out.
Right.
You know?
Batman's not in it. Harvey Dent, he comes in, he looks like a little boy. He's like so young looking. And then Harley Quinn isn't really acting like Harley Quinn. So as far as you're right, like, confusing, I don't know who it's for because it doesn't honor the characters necessarily for DC characters. It's not a really great musical because the musical has nothing to do with the rest of the story. And some of them are just not good. There's like great acting. But so it's not for musical fans. It's not for DC fans. Like, it's purely for our tour fans. I feel like if you love artsy movies, you're gonna dig it. But if you don't, I don't know who this movie's for. It's not for like general audiences. That's for damn
people
sure.
who like Joaquin Phoenix and probably Lady Gaga. I just because in general, like, I've been hearing obviously the things that we've been talking about, but A, it's a musical. B, it's like adjacent from what's happening now with like Matt Reeves and like DC and James Gunn, and then on top of that you're having this very like artistically placed Joker, which is nice, but then to me it feels like a Sony Marvel movie. You know what I mean? Like, why?
Absolutely.
Maybe I see where you're going, but it didn't really work out, so like, why again?
Yeah, it's I mean 100%. It's like if all of a sudden this new Venom movie comes out and it turns out Eddie Brock is not Venom. He was like, Eddie Brock wasn't actually Venom. He just was influencing the guy who becomes Venom. And you're like, we just went on 3 movies with this bitch. Like, what do you mean he's not Venom?
What are we doing?
It very much feels like that. And they, they can't reference Batman because he's not around yet. It's just like, I don't know.
It's kind of weird. It's a real far out there angle to go with. Kind of cool. Like, I think I might enjoy the movie now that I know the ending, because now I'm gonna go in watching like, okay, this is clearly a madman, going more and more insane, and I like Joaquin Phoenix. So now it's just like it's just a movie about a madman.
That's true.
And that might be more enjoyable.
For sure. But that's the other thing too. This movie's so boring.
Oh,
there's like straight up sequences where I don't remember what happened. Like, I remember some of the beginning and I remember the ending. I don't know what happens in the middle because majority of it takes place in a court and he's getting beat up by cops in jail and It's so like unrememberable. It's so weird. Yeah, it is so weird. So like you're seeing this guy go crazy, but it's not interesting like the first movie, and you feel bad for him, and he's like seeing all these things. This is like clearing things up that he thought he saw in the first movie, and like that didn't happen. He's just crazy, and then you're like, okay, that's it. It's really it's strange. It is a strange movie. Yeah, I mean, hell, I guess if Warner Brothers was going to give them, $50 million to make it, or like then they got to pocket $5 or $10 million piece, of course you do it. But
yeah,
this was kind of like an FU to the studio too. It was like, we didn't want to do this, and this is what you guys get. Almost, and they lost. I think it lost like, what did it cost? $250 million to make, and it made like $46 million on opening weekend or something, or $34 million or something.
More than it deserves.
Yeah, but it's people are saying it's a worse movie than Madam Web, and did I agree with that? I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, but Madam Web made more money. So
that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I wonder too. It's like, like what's going on with the like, so studio gives you money, like you're just like, yeah, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. Like, I wonder if at the end of the script they're like, people are either gonna really like this, or they're gonna be like, I don't know. You know, like, I wonder what was going through their head when they were like, this is the final thing, we're going to shoot it. Or were they like, dude, this movie's straight trash. We're just getting money. I hope it bombs. Like, I kind of want to know, like, the backs. I hope they do a documentary on, like, this movie.
Yeah, I know the process behind the scenes. Like, one, he didn't let James Gunn and Peter Safran come in and, like, change anything on it. Okay. Like, he was like, this is done, it's set. So that's why they didn't put a DC logo. Like, even, what was this? There's some movie that came out recently. Or the Penguin. Penguin has the blue new DC logo. Yeah, but this movie didn't, and they were like, "Yeah, okay, fine. If you're gonna take it that way, like, we want nothing to do with this." So it's not that. It's not Matt Reeves' universe. But also they didn't let anybody screen the movie, so there was no feedback whether they liked it or not. They just took it straight to like Cannes, and then Cannes played it, and Cannes got a pretty decent reception because that's for artsy fartsy movies and stuff. And people dug it. But yeah, beyond that, dude, I don't know. It was wild.
Interesting.
It was funny. I got the poster too because of like, I was like, opening fan event, right? I got
the poster. Right.
I left it. I was like, I don't want this.
You watched it and you're like, ooh.
This is something like, where would I put, I'm not going to hang this up. It's so not good.
You could have used it to start a fire or wrap gifts. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I got the Madam Web poster to do that. I think I got, I'm trying to think of all the movie posters I have posters. Now. That, I'll never hang. I'm like, I don't love the movie that much. It doesn't deserve to be on my wall. So
I'll probably still watch it eventually.
I think you should, though. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga are doing some work, though. They are putting on a performance. They're doing a great job. It's just not that interesting.
Do you think it would have just been better as like a theatrical, like in the theater?
Ooh, that'd be fun. Yeah, but I think you'd have to combine movie 1 and 2 together.
Okay. I feel like I'd be more interested in watching Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga on a live stage than watching a fucking movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I hear you saying, like...
And now we can get Lin-Manuel.
Fucking goddamn it.
There you go, your favorite. But seriously, like, number 2, basically... It does in a lot of ways. I know some other people wouldn't agree, but it like tears down so much that 1 built up. It just kind of like shits on the things that it did well.
That's
not in like a maybe in a spiteful way, but it just seems like, why would you set up all these cool things and then just like tear it away? Like, no, I'm not the Joker. No, I didn't do this. No, it's like,
okay.
I don't know. I just don't see this living on, maybe people will look back and be like, oh, it's a pretty good movie, but I just don't like the ending. Or I'd love the ending and it's not a good movie. I'm going to go one of those two ways.
Well, I mean, why don't we then take the Witch's Road and travel down to Agatha's All Along,
Dude, this show is so good.
Will you hit it off? Because I kind of remember, but not really.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm trying to think, because we didn't talk about episode 4 either. This episode 5 was the big episode, which is crazy. I love when shows throw in like some big crazy stuff right in the middle of the season. And I feel like this episode was like the heavy hitter in a lot of ways. Like, I really got like this exciting, just like holy crap transition. There was something that I think everybody predicted with, again, we're talking full spoilers here for everybody, but that, the teen was Billy or Wanda Maximoff's kid. That turns out That's true. But also, like, just learning more about Agatha and maybe how her powers work too. I think we kind of got a little side note. Oh, last week's episode was the they need an extra green witch because Mrs. Hart dies. They summon Rio, and then they go into the 70s, like the studio room, and then they have to like fight the demon and stuff. That one was cool. That was just an awesome episode because the style was cool, the music was good. It was kind of creepy with the demon in there and stuff. Like, yeah, I don't know. What did you guys think about that episode first? I think that was 4.
Yeah, I thought that was cool actually. They got to play a different rendition of the song that we heard in was it the first episode, second episode?
Yeah.
One of them early ones.
Yeah, both. No,
Yeah.
I just said yeah. 'Cause I didn't
It was
know
kind
if
of
it was one or
cool,
two.
like the whole like they got this mark, and then you see how that mark is being done. It's like they're like that thing's physically on their shoulders. Yeah, I mean, I like the whole like each episode. They seem like they're covering each trial is like one of the witches, and like that one was, the one with the mom who she lost her mom on the road. She's still on the road. She died. Like I don't know, forget her name, but I thought it was a cool episode. Yeah.
Yeah. Agree. I think Agatha's doing a really good job at, again, putting in great music, bringing this like this luster, both like literally and figuratively, in the sense of like the tone of the show, how the show's moving. Like it feels very Halloweeny, obviously witches and stuff like that, but like it brings me into that mode where I'm like in kind of engulfed in the environment from each episode. And I really like that because obviously we've dealt with some Marvel series that were like, what are we doing here? And it's because it doesn't do that. It doesn't bring us into the world. It just kind of expects us to watch it and like it. But I think Agatha does a really good job at showing off what it's good at and using dialogue, using the actors and actresses kind of breadth and range to be able to help push us along and really help care about them. Obviously, too, it's almost like a video game, right? It's a very linear type situation where they're going from trial to trial to trial, so we can follow along. We can see kind of the drama coming through, and then we can kind of like be with them along the way. Agatha's just doing a really great job of that. Episode 4 was really good. I have a little bit more to say about episode 5, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's so well said. I didn't think about the video game element where it's like you're literally, since they're stuck on the road, it's literally forcing them from one challenge to the next, or like the next boss to the next boss to the next boss. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. And there's so much good balancing of tones where it can get super scary and creepy, and they can get very marvelly, but then it can be like straight up just a comedy, and they can say shit in it. It's like in episode 5, after we see Alice has to face her trauma, and like, dude, I'm loving the sets, I'm loving the costume. That kind of sucks me in right away. And they're doing these different kind of genres through time, but also like not almost like dramas. Well, I don't know. I kind of said this on Challenge Accepted, which is like, I feel like WandaVision was very much around sitcoms through different time periods. Yeah. This show seems to be around like music and culture around different time periods.
Okay.
Right? Like, so there's like 70s music and there's 60s. And in this new episode 5, it's very like 80s. And I don't know. I feel like there's something around like music and culture is what I'm getting more. I mean, maybe it's just the fact that they have to sing all the time. It's a very like musical cast.
Yeah, I think too, like if it's very much like what you'd imagine if someone's like, and then it's like they arrive and they're in the 80s. And like if you were to imagine them all in clothes, you're like, oh yeah, this very much feels like that. Like, I am digging that, because then they don't know until they get there, and then there's always that like, wow, I look good, like in these like different clothes, and like they got different hair and stuff. It's kind of fun.
Which Catherine Hahn's reaction in episode 4 was great. It was like, damn, I look good, and like the way she was like feeling herself, I thought that was fantastic. And then Rio coming in, and like I'm not like super attracted to Aubrey Plaza. Like I know people think she's super hot and beautiful, and I can see how she's beautiful. I'm not super attracted to her, but I was like, damn, she looks good here. Like, and they all have these different styles within that same time period, right? Like Lilia Calderu looked like her. I guess in real life, her friend is Liza Minnelli. She looked like Liza Minnelli. The teen we know as Billy. He had that like long, kind of straight, flippy hair and that like furry jacket. It just like the style in it has been awesome.
The style was good. Episode 5 was a little bit more seemed like you were speaking about like culture and years and music, but that like '80s horrors vibe we got from episode 5, where they're kind of really doing a lot of these tropes in there, and kind of really pushing that forward. I like how Agatha is really playing with the genres, playing with the culture in these time periods, and then kind of really pushing it forward, opening it up, so that we can kind of see the breath of it. I keep using the word breath because it's taking my breath away.
Ooh, well done,
like
Agatha. Yeah, I agree. I think that this, and it just keeps being captivating. In this episode, episode 5, we see that the challenges through the Ouija board, which I feel like was so classic. Like, did you guys ever play with the Ouija board?
No,
Don't
I
do that.
refused.
Nope. Yep. Fuck you.
I had
Get
the
that shit outta
chance
here,
to.
dude.
I was scared shitless of trying to use
No.
that thing, and then having a
doing it.
demon come get me, right? But I mean,
It's
I
like,
think
why take that chance, you know? Like,
Yeah, dude,
Right,
fuck that.
right.
who's to say if that'll happen or not? But if there's even a small chance it'll open some door to something,
Yeah,
go fuck
worth it.
yourself. Not
Yeah,
doing
go fuck yourself, dude. Get the fuck out of here,
it.
dude.
Do that shit not in my house. Get the
Yeah,
fuck
dude,
out.
get out of here, dude.
Right. So true. They start using Ouija board. Obviously, it says Mr. Shart. I mean, sorry, Mrs. Hart. And then Agatha goes into, like, she was obviously faking it, but then it turns into something real. They give this explanation that's really cool for the Salem 7, right? So it's those 5. No, obviously 7, which is in all black. I can't count. That's trying to hunt them down. And in the comics, the Salem 7 is Agatha's son, Nicholas Scratch. It's his kids. And because he and his kids hate their grandma, Agatha, they go to hunt her down. Well, I like how they're doing it. It's a different version from the comics, but it still works. Like, there's still these dark entities after the coven that she killed, and they're trying to get revenge. It's still very much in line with, like, what the comics are doing. So I really dug that. And then just, I don't know, they look creepy, they look weird. We also get, so I guess I just like that explanation, but then we also see more about her power. And I guess at this moment, right, she gets possessed by her mom. There's obviously a lot of, like, trauma issues there. Alice goes in to save her. Do you guys think that Agatha purposely was taking her power and killed her? Or was that one of the moments where she was like, yeah, give me all your power, Purple? Do you think she can't shut it off? What was your impression of, like, the mom and then, like, the power stealing?
Yeah, like, at first I thought she was maybe doing it on purpose, but then I was like, that'd be a weird time to be like, yeah, I want to kill you all. We still got so much road to go, you know? So it doesn't make sense. I think it was more so like what I had imagined, someone who has, like, maybe been off the sauce for a while, some sort. Like, I don't drink anymore. And then they get a taste and they're like, until they realize what they're doing, you know, like, oh my gosh. But sadly, in this case, it was like killing someone as she was caught up in that thing. So,
No,
Yeah, I like that.
I'm on
I
that
buy
train.
that.
I'm on that train. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
agree with that.
Okay. Yeah. The theory out there is that she can't control it, and that it's sucking in all everybody's powers, and that same thing that happened in the Coven. Like, they shot her, she got her purple, but she wasn't trying to kill them. It's just like she can't stop it from pulling in the power. And also, like, the reason why she has that ability, it was her mom trying to protect her, so she put this spell on her that if anybody tried to blast her, whatever, she would absorb it. Well, if it's literally coming from the witches, it's like taking their life force. Yeah. I
but
don't know.
the spell also made it feel real good to absorb the
Sure
power.
did.
Yeah.
Give me some of that perp.
Jizz in my pants.
Jizz in my
Pretty
pants. Jizz my pants.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, that was the other thing that was sad for me watching this episode away, because it was like, man, Alice just got past all of her shit, and now she's dead. There was something else on the Ouija board, and I'm just going to throw out there. Did you guys catch anything else that was a hit? Because there's another... I found out what the leak was finally today from Challenge Accepted, but it was something that I got to guess it. It's not like Frank had to tell me. I just got to, like, guess it.
No, honestly, I was cooking while I was watching, so I wasn't
Okay.
catching everything, like all the deets.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one you'd have to, like, watch for it. Yeah.
Oh.
Any theories, Drake?
I'm having a tough time coming up with it. I'm kind of
Alright.
stuck on some. What's her name? Not
Lay
something
it
there.
on us.
Agatha.
Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza. Yeah.
I just keep thinking about Aubrey Plaza. I like her in this vibe. It's like, that's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We also finally get confirmation in this episode of somebody that I think we knew who they were going to play, and Joe Locks, the teen, is definitely confirmed to be Billy. I think that was really cool. This is what I love about it, because in preparation for this, like, you know, everybody was like, oh, he's Billy Kaplan, he's Wiccan, so I went back and I read before King, I read the first run of Young Avengers, and he's a founding member there. But in the first Young Avengers, they think he is an Asgardian because his powers is based around electricity. So all the other people are like, oh, you know, he must be like Thor's whatever cousin, who knows, right? And then later on, it's revealed after he meets Wanda that it's her son. But when you watch him use the powers, and he's kind of like he shoots Agatha away, and then he starts mind controlling Lilia and Jen. There's electricity between his fingers, very much like the comics. So I thought, man, they nailed it with him. He actually is standing up to Agatha, trying to be heroic. You killed Alice, you shouldn't have done it. I'm stoked to see this kid move on as Wiccan. I think, yeah, it was cool. It was cool to get that reveal, I guess.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Agree. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens, because now they're all in the mud. He threw them like all in the mud. Rio wasn't there for some reason.
In the
Yeah.
mud.
Yeah.
Yep. Real quick, should we go back and rewatch that whole scene with the Ouija board?
If you want to, I mean, it definitely is telling on something, and it's
Okay.
I didn't know it was the leak per se, because I mean, everybody knew he was Wiccan online, but there was another leak that I apparently dodged, and I had my theories about someone, and the Ouija board says something about someone that's in the group that is a big reveal later on down the road.
Okay, cool. I'll go back and rewatch that.
No, don't
Check it
I
out.
just
Check
like
it
having,
out.
love having all the knowledge myself.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell us.
Yeah. No, I want you guys to be surprised.
Okay,
if you
cool.
don't know.
No,
I want
fuck
to be
you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually a big character. It's a really offbeat character, but relates to a lot of things that we've seen in Marvel, and there's a lot they could do with them.
that. Oh, cool.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, this show continues to be great. Always looking forward to it. Let's get into the Penguin really quick.
That was my penguin noise.
It's pretty good.
Come on, what are you doing? Come on.
Hey, fucking a penguin. A fucking
Yeah.
like sardines or stuff. Hey.
Pretty
Hey,
good.
I got a
Have you
brace.
watched it, Drake?
I have not. I only watched
Okay.
episode onesies.
Same,
okay.
unfortunately.
Yeah. But but sell it to us.
Oh.
You watch 2 and 3. You love it.
I don't think it's, everyone's like, this is the best show on TV. It's pretty amazing, I will say that, but it's not my favorite show on TV right now. But with that being said, this is cool. This latest episode, episode 2, you kind of get more from Kristen Melodi's character, the Hangman, and her relationship with Oz. There's obviously like this push and pull. You find out that she doesn't trust him because of what he did to her and like what the relationship actually was. You'll find out even more later on down the road, but you kind of like, they're forced to be in a partnership, basically. And that's kind of most of episode 2, but it's just the dynamics, the dialogue. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember it as much as I do episode 3 now, which is about Victor. And he's like, it's him. This is really cool. This, man, is this a spoiler? Kind of is a spoiler, but I want to tell you because it's so good. And it happens like super fast early in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Can
Do
I,
it.
Scott?
Yeah,
All right.
let's do it.
It starts off, you see Victor and he's holding a package and you think he's like walking the streets to like give Oz something. But it turns out this is actually before the events in the Batman. So it's before all the seawalls explode.
Okay.
And so, yeah, he sees his family. He's like, hey, what's up, Abuela? What's up, Dad? Like, you know, he does all those things. And then, like, the homie's like, come up to the roof. We're going to be, like, drinking and stuff. And he goes up there, and, like, there's this cute girl he's talking to, and they're, like, flirting. And he starts to see all the gravel on the building, like, rumbling and shaking. He's like, what the heck? And they think they're there to watch fireworks. but then poof, you start seeing all this explosions in the city, and then all the water just like comes flooding over these huge seawalls.
Whoa.
Dude, cars are getting like swarmed and drowned, and then all that water comes slamming, and he's like trying to call his mom because they're on like the 5th floor, and the water's rushing in, and he's like, mom, what? Won't pick up. Boom. And he sees like the whole water just slam into his family house, and then you realize like, oh, this is why he was trying to steal the rims off of Oz's car in episode 1. Like, that's, you know, how the Riddler's plans and the Batman affected him and then put him in the situation he's in for the Penguin.
Whoa.
Right. That's cool that they showed all that. I figured, didn't they mention that though? Like that his family, he lost his family to the floods or something?
Yes. Yeah. But he says it real quiet and like passive, right?
That's
but then
crazy.
they'll watch
they show
it
like that with that visuals. Wow. That's
man,
heavy.
It's so good. It's so well done, and it's super heavy. And like he shook. Everybody's like afraid. It looks like probably, you know, sadly what maybe some people are experiencing with like Milton right now.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
shit.
it's heavy, but it really like sets the mood. And then you also see, you know, his personality compared to his family. His family's very much like, he's like, Dad, don't you want more? Like, you could do this, you could do that. And his dad's like, listen, we're happy. Like, we got all our bills paid for. You know, we got food on the table. Like, I like what I do. Like, I don't need to be like CEO of a company. Like, I like it, you know. And you could see it even at this time. He's like, no, we could have more. We could do more. And that really sets up like his internal conflict, I think, for this whole episode and probably in the future. So episode 3 was a good one. It was really, really
Nice.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Penguin.
So
dude.
yeah, that's the
Villains.
Penguin. Continues to be a really great show. I just don't love it as much as like as some other people online, but I still think it's incredible. You know, I still think it's a fantastic show.
It's still like just based off the first episode. I know we said it before, but like it's just crazy. Like I still can't see Colin Farrell in it.
At
Like I
all.
try. I'm like trying to see little glimpses of him, but it's crazy how much in there he is. You know. And
Yeah,
granted, it is
yeah.
a fat suit and all that stuff, but still.
I mean, he's like Drake when he was doing the New Zealand accent, but he's just locked
Yeah. Like,
in.
who is this guy?
Yeah,
Freaking different person. Just a
Draco.
different human being.
he's going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's go.
boy. So that's it for I think all the episodes tonight. Yeah, I don't know. You guys have any other final thoughts on anything? Anything you're looking forward to watching next week or playing? We still got to jump on more 4K, 40K.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Oh yeah, definitely that. I'm learning more about the lore, which is cool.
Yeah, he is.
Drake has been doing deep dives, and then Kobe.
Yeah, I know.
He used to be on this podcast. People know he's like really big into the Warhammer lore too. So like they're kind of pitching to him like, dude, this sounds pretty awesome. So I'm trying to like, I'm like, where do I start? And you go on Google, you're like, where do you start? And they're like, well, let me tell you. And there's like so much. It's almost too much. Like
Right.
you're like,
Yeah.
can I just focus on one dude? Like, where's Master Chief? Where's the chief of this?
Yeah,
You know. But it's cool so far, and the game's fun, obviously. But real quick, there's a show on Netflix called.
Vox Machina.
Oh my gosh, no, it's not. Now I forgot.
Oh, sorry. On Netflix?
Yeah,
Is it
the
an anime?
cooking one I was just talking about.
Oh,
Dan
yeah,
Dan?
yeah, the one with the...
Dan and Dan or
Culinary
something?
Class Wars.
Culinary
Oh,
Class Wars.
Dan to Dan is awesome too. Only first episode came out. The second episode comes out tonight, I think. So go ahead and check that out. It's anime. That one is one girl believes in like ghosts, but doesn't believe in aliens, and then the other dude believes in aliens but doesn't believe in ghosts, and they cross paths, and then they're like, I want to prove it's real. You go to the spookiest place. You go to a place that had aliens, and then they both run into the things.
Wow.
Definitely not for kids, but it's cool. The art is cool. It's a fun show. Yeah, check that out. And then there's a show called Culinary Class Wars, which is kind of like Physical 100 if you check that out, but cooking. They take 100 chefs, and then like within the first episode they dwindle it down to like 40.
Wow.
Fuck.
And it's cool. Like it's another Korean show, and yeah, if you like cooking shows and whatnot, it's like a fresh take on that, and it's a good time. And all the food is freaking delicious looking, and you'll be hungry, no
Nice.
matter if you ate or not. So check those out, Netflix. Those are my little recs.
Dig it. I dig it. Drake, you got
You.
anything?
Just, go out there and give it 110%.
Thanks for sticking it with us, guys.
The Joystick Show. Joystick Show.